YouTube Nation, what it do, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about something that a lot of people speak on, but never really heard nobody break it down. And so here's my perspective of generations. So a lot of people talk about this generation and that generation, the difference between the two. I'm going to break that down for y'all. But first, a word from our sponsor. Good shit. Right on. All right, so check it out. The difference between generations is this. My generation, people that came up in my generation around my era, my age, in the 50s, 40s, the difference is this, man. We didn't have, as I said before, we didn't have older homies in their 50s when we was coming up. It wasn't no older Crips or older Bloods in their 50s for all of us that was coming up in the 80s and shit like that. Shit was still fairly new. So what we have now with social media, we have older homies with jobs, businesses, homes. We have a whole lot more now. So that's why things has changed. That's why you can't compare the two, because we didn't have what's available today back then. Things are different. Times has changed. So the generations has changed. Everybody expect this generation to be exactly like our generation. You can't. It's a different time. Everything is different. So when you look at the generations, meaning you people say, okay, well, this generation is bad compared to that. A lot of fault that's going on with this generation is because a lot of us left and we wasn't around to lace these younger generations, school these cats and show them the way it's really done. Being that we wasn't there, they learned on their own. So we can't complain about something we wasn't there to do. We wasn't there to nurture. They're just like families. A lot of us wasn't there for our kids, like myself. So I can't complain about how somebody else raised my kid. You feel what I'm saying? We can't complain about the other generation if we wasn't there to help nurture them and keep shit going the way we think it should have been. If we would have been there, it wouldn't be the way it is. Plain and simple. Period. So when you compare the generations, you can't, because times have changed. Like I said, our generation come up with hip hop. In the beginning of hip hop, people didn't think the rap gang hip hop will last this long, but it's still around. So we see it. So that's the difference. We had a bigger movement going on. Hip hop was new. That hip hop movement was coming around, and this gang banging shit was going at the same time, the 80s. So that's why the 80s will never be duplicated, can never be duplicated. We can relive it by sharing our stories and, reminiscing and on. But the 80s will never be duplicated, and you can never get past that generation. The generation I come up in was the most effective generation because we paved the way for what's today. But it's just extorted. Things is different. But when shit was really funky, was still new. That was the 80s, parts of the 90s. But the 80s for sure was when this shit was set in stone. Seriously. Y'all have a blessed day, and please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.